Alright guys, let's recap real quick. So we shortened the top, changed the frame rails to drop it down 2.5 inches. We shortened this so we can put a dovetail on it, dropping out the lift gate, no longer going to use that. We got a welding 2 cross beams right here, because we clearanced for the wheels, and we have the steel plate for the tops here. But right now we're going to focus on installing the dovetail. So let's go ahead and get started with it. Bring you a little closer. So I put an inclinometer on here. So this is going to be our step where the dovetail sits. And then the slope down, all the way down to down here, that's 13 degrees slope. So it's not drastic. I think the acceptable range is like 18, but you look at a lot of the excavators, a lot of skid steers, they can go up as much as 30 degrees. We're trying not to go that high, so I'm trying to keep it 12, 13, maybe 18 degrees. So we're going with that 18 degrees, like comfortable. So we got to cut this down right here. Same with the other side, same with the back rail. And then once we got that cut in, I think we got to take 2 inches off of it, because that's the bar that's on the back side of a steel plate. And then set it in place, make sure it all fits. If it's all good, we'll go ahead and weld that in place. Then we're going to do a drop right here at a 90 degrees, because that's 12 feet right there to the front. And then from that is going to give us, for the end cap on the frame rail, a point where we can then bolt forward and then run a bumper out from the front of it, connect it up to here, and then get everything welded together, and then put a ball hitch in the middle. So let's get started with the dovetail, and then we'll move on to everything else. All right, just like the deck, this is 2 1/4. So from the top right there, you can see it's just a hair above it. So we'll take and probably have to notch like halfway in. But then zero this. Right there. 13.3. This is 24 inches. So that's why I marked it back here. So we need to compensate for the loss of that steel bar on the back, mark it up, and then we can cut this. So this is our end point. So the first cut we're going to make is just crop it vertically before we start doing the angled cuts. That's going to give us less material to work with, plus save this at a 90-degree angle for later. So let's go ahead and cut this off on both of them. All right, we need to cut off this back piece. So I'm gonna split the hinge point, cut this out on both sides, remove it, and then we can take this piece and get it up on there. All right, it is time to get that up here. All right, so this guy is a little bit narrower, so we're gonna center it up. It's wide enough where it's the inside to the inside, which is an important part, but it is narrower than the entire overall structure of it. We're gonna add a little side beam on both sides just to kind of make it look the same, and then it will add a little bit of strength on the end. But for now, we're at 5, and I think like 3 inches maybe on that side. Just gotta go that way. Make it work. I'll down myself. 3 and 7. 3 and 7. So right there. Dovetails up on here and it's all welded in. So now we need to do our drops for A, the tow hitch, and B, to extend the bumper out. So it's got to come down. I measured it from the back of a truck. It's 36 inches from the frame to the ground. Requirement is 22 inches from the ground is the minimum height for a bumper. So we got to be 22 or below. So that puts us at, basically we got to do a 16-inch drop right here. And that'll get us to 21 inches. So right here, 16, we'll go straight down from this bar right here. And then we'll do an extension out this way and then a drop from the front rail right here. We're gonna go ahead and notch this on, let's see, right here, 1 inch on this side, and that way it slots up and then we can get a better weld that holds it in both directions. All right, guys, we are back for another day of welding and getting this finished up with the rear bumper. And you all failed me just as much as it failed myself. So I switched from gas to flux core. When you switch from gas to flux core, you're supposed to switch the polarity from decent to decep, or whatever, vice versa. You're supposed to switch polarity. And I completely spaced on that, and that's why it's been showering sparks and everything all day. I switched it today and it's welding like butter. So let me show you in the welder what that looks like. All right, so right here in the panel, change of polarity. So we were decep previously for gas, and this is what we needed to be in, is decep. So next thing, we got these two drops welded in. So this is going to function as our forward stop, as well as being bolted to the frame on the front side. And then we need to do some drop backs. So basically 1 foot drop backs to about right here, and then go back up to the top up here. So for that, we're going to use the same as a frame rail, the 2.5 by 2.5 by 3/16, going straight back. And then up, we're going to do some smaller metal braces. All right, so let's cut our metal and then let's fold it up. Next piece, this is going to be our main impact bar down here. Just got to cut it down a little bit. Looks like maybe 2 inches. And then once we do that, we'll weld it in across here. And we have one of those cross members right there, the 1x4 inch steel with 8 inch. And that's going to be a full out. And then we're going to wrap it like maybe 10 degrees forward in the like last 1.5 feet. So let's go ahead and get this cut down and weld it in. Right at 28 inches. What is pretty neat is we cut out a crossbar up there, right? For clearancing wheels. Well, we have those crossbars right here. And unlike it was done previously, we'll actually put the drip edge the proper way. So it'll be down that way. All right. So we'll measure from both ends, make sure it's aligned, and then later we'll give it a notch on both sides and then kink it in and weld that seam. welded in place. Got vertical across the top and vertical on that side. We're gonna take and do 2 or 3 holes on the back side and do a weld through as well, just to make sure that it's solid, especially towards the bottom where we can't get it from the inside. Now, I have these lights for LED, 2-point mount of fasteners, and we're gonna put it right about right there, but I want this forward at about a 5-degree angle. So we're gonna take, notch the backside, and then bend it forward. It's gonna look pretty sharp. So I went ahead, added 2 more drop bars right there. And we're gonna do a license plate right here underneath. Now, going up front, I wanna cut this guy off. Almost out of daylight. As you guys can see, the sun's going down. So I took and made 2 of these guys, and that's our little taper right here with the dovetail for the edge. And then that's just gonna skinny it out and make it all nice. So I'm gonna clamp this in place and then start welding. And then as I'm welding, it's gonna be a wrap. So next time, over on the front side, I'm gonna use the forward portion of a dovetail as a bottom, and then taper it out, and that way it provides extra buffer for impacts. And then we'll start stripping everything and then painting next weekend.